ॐ वाङ् मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य आणीस्तः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासि अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्भक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु भक्तारमवतु भक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ ॐ May my speech be accorded with the mind. May my mind be accorded with the speech. O self-effulgent one Brahman, reveal thyself to me. May you both, speech and mind, be the carriers of the highest truth to me. May not all that I have heard depart from me. May I be able to join day and night through this study. I shall utter what is verbally true. I shall utter what is mentally true. May that Brahman protect me. May that Brahman protect the teacher. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Om, peace, peace. Peace be unto you all. Good morning. This morning I shall speak on almost the continuation of my talk of last Sunday. That will be yoga, Lila and Yajna. On last Sunday, I mentioned that the spirituality means how we should interact with the world. Definitely it is the spiritual evolution of our consciousness. It is the transformation of our consciousness that is the cause, and the effect is our interaction with the world. So those who are highly spiritual personalities, they do not have any change in their physical form, but their outlook is changed. They can see the world, they can interact with the world in a different way. So there are 6 ways of interacting the world. Those who are aspirant, who want to become a spiritual person, they should see the world, interact with the world in 6 ways. And those are Maya. The universe, this world, is nothing but Maya. The second is yoga. The third is Yajna, the sacrifice. The fourth is Lila. This is a divine play of God. Next is the witness. I am not participating with anything in this world. I am just witness. And the last is Virata Upasana. These are the 6 ways we can interact with this world spiritually. What is the cause of it? Why should we interact this world in 6 ways? These are not watertight compartment. According to our mental setup, according to situation, we can interact with the world in these 6 ways. We can switch over from one to another according to the situation, according to the mindset. So what is the purpose of interacting the world in these 6 ways? The purpose is this. Number 1, we can face the challenges of our life in a smarter way, in a matured way. This is the first reason. The second reason is this. Sorry. The second reason is this. Slowly, by interacting with this world in these 6 ways, slowly, our consciousness will be transformed. Because we know what we think, that we will be. This is the very, very strong dictum in Indian philosophy. In Upanishad, it is said, in Bhagavad Gita, it is said, what we think, that we will be. It is not only from the scriptures, from psychology, physiology, it is proved that by constant thinking of one particular thing, our hormones and our nervous system changes. It opens different channels and it changes. So personality changes by thinking one thing very strongly. So the point is, what we think, that we will be. So by thinking, constant thinking and practicing, our consciousness will be elevated. It will be evolved. So this is the second reason of seeing this world in these 6 ways. And lastly, when we can attain the highest attainment, those highly elevated spiritual personalities, they also interact with the world one of these 6 ways. If you go through the life of Sri Ramakrishna, if you can go through the life of Jesus, Buddha, you can find they interacted with this world either of these 6 ways. Now, on last Sunday, I explained what is Yajna attitude and how can we practice this Yajna attitude and interact with this world. This Sunday, I am going to speak on other 3. One is yoga, the second is Lila, and third is also Yajna. I shall not describe elaborately Yajna because I have already done this. What I shall do, I shall explain the yoga and Lila, particularly this morning. There are 2 ways, broadly, there are 2 ways of seeing the reality. One is not this, not this, not this. So the reality is not this. Generally, the nature of reality, according to Indian philosophy, is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. The intrinsic nature of Brahman is, I am not explaining what is intrinsic nature. The intrinsic nature of Brahman, the absolute reality, is Satyam, truth, Jnanam, knowledge, and Anantam, infiniteness. So these are the intrinsic nature of Brahman. In my discourse, I have already explained to you what is the truth, which never changes, which doesn't have beginning and end, and which is true in respect of place, time, and name and form. These three are called truth. So, Satyam, truth, Jnanam, knowledge, and infiniteness. This is the nature, intrinsic nature of reality. So how can we find that? We find that in these two ways there. One is not this, not this. In Sanskrit it is called neti, neti. So absolute reality is not this, not this. So what remains? That remains, that is the absolute reality. So not this, not this. So if I explain it, yes, it is this, then there will be the limitation, because our thoughts have some limitation. And it is changeable. I have some kind of outlook, I have some kind of thought. You have another kind of thought. So it changes. It is not one and same. But the reality is one and same for everybody. So this is not truth. The point is this. So that is why the ancient seers, ancient spiritual giants, they did not distinguish the absolute reality with others by saying, yes, this is that, this is that, this is that. They said, not this, not this, not this. So this is one way of approaching and seeing this world. And what is reality? You can interact with reality with these 6 ways. Now, another way is seeing this absolute reality, because absolute reality is all inclusive. It is one. So you cannot exclude anything from the one. The oneness of existence, it is said. So if there is oneness of existence, can you exclude anything from there? So you cannot exclude anything of this universe from that oneness. Everything is inclusive. So this is another way of looking this world, which is called in Sanskrit iti iti. Yes, that is that, that is that, that is that. So actually, seeing this world, if we call it not this, not this, not this, so universe is not at all there. So universe is not Brahman, definitely, because this universe has a limitation. This universe changes. It cannot be absolute. So universe is not the absolute reality, and universe is not one. So that's why there are thousands of universe in this infinite space, There is Mars, there is lot of universe in this infinite space. So the point is this: if we go through not this, not this, these 6 things will not be applied. Only these 6 approaches are applied when we interact with this universe with this is that, this is that, this is that. So, what is the way of finding this is that, this is this? There are 3 ways, 3 interactions. And these 3 interactions are like this. This encounter, we encounter this universe, reality, through this world. How can we find the reality? We do not have any experience of reality. We don't know where the reality is. So only way to find the reality by interacting this world. So that is the only way we have. And how can we interact? We interact through our mind. Our mind says, and what is the instrument of acquiring our knowledge? The senses. Senses are the instruments by which we can acquire our knowledge. For spirituality, we have to understand every detail of our personality, of this universe. Because spirituality is not anywhere above the sky. It is with us, within us, and by interacting with this universe, we have to evolve ourselves. We do not have any other instrument. So we have to understand in detail what is our personality, what is our mind, how do we think, what is the mechanism of our thinking and intelligence and mind, and about the universe. So these are the 2 things. That is why reality we can find by interacting this universe. That is the way. The point is this: there are 3 ways we can interact in this world. Number 1 is Purusha and Prakriti. You know, the scientists, Western scientists, they divide this world into 2. Matter and non-matter. Everything is matter and non-matter. These are the 2 things. But the ancient scientist, Indian scientist, whose name is Kapila, he found the Sankhya philosophy. Only this person, he divided this world into 2. One is consciousness, another is non-consciousness. He only divided these 2 parts, divided this universe into 2, consciousness and non-consciousness. So, everything in spirituality, especially the Indian spirituality, is between consciousness and non-consciousness. So consciousness, human being and every being is consciousness. So we have to understand what is consciousness. We have to realize what is consciousness. That is the spirituality. What is spirit? Consciousness means spirit or soul or Atman. That is the thing we have to understand. We have to realize it is not objective understanding, it is a kind of subjective understanding. Everything, our understanding means objective understanding. And when there is objective understanding, it is separate from us. All objective understandings are separated from us. We know our subject matter, we know everything outside, everything we know. But this knowing is separate from us. But the consciousness, we are conscious. So spirit is we are. That means this is a subjective kind of knowing. This is not separate knowing. The other thing, something is there outside, we know it. It is not like that. It is subjective. We have to know ourselves. That is the point. And hardness is there, difficulties is there. Objective understanding is very easy. Here is a flower, I can easily see it, I can understand it, I can examine it. But when I say what, it is very difficult. If I ask you what you are thinking, or who are you? Yes, name is very simple. Your designation is very simple. But intrinsically, what is your real nature? It is very difficult, and that is the basic question, ancient question. People have been asking from thousand and thousand years that what is the real nature? And to find this real nature is nothing but spirituality. Spirituality means understand, realize what is spirit, what you are. That is the thing, you have to find it. And we cannot find it objective way, because this is we are, what we are. It is subjective. So subjective means transcendental. And here is the hardship. Objective is always worldly. It is, you can find it everywhere. But subjective means transcendent. You have to transcend your frame of reference. Otherwise, you cannot understand it. You cannot realize it. Here is the difficulties of spirituality. So, the interacting, Purusha and Prakriti. One way, yes, I am the consciousness. Purusha means consciousness. And Prakriti means non-consciousness. One is consciousness, one is non-consciousness. This way we can interact with this universe. If you think, and it is another very important principle of Vedanta, is this. What you think about yourself, you can see this world according to that. So, if you think yourself consciousness, immediately you are separating this world into two, conscious and non-conscious. So, this is one way of interacting this universe. Consciousness, non-consciousness. And this is the process of yoga. Consciousness, non-consciousness. Patanjali actually described this way of interacting in this universe. Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha means consciousness, and Prakriti means non-consciousness. So actually Patanjali Yoga Sutra is based on, it is called Prakriti Ashraya, means nature based, means non-consciousness based. The approach of Patanjali Yoga Sutra is this, from non-consciousness to consciousness. They try to eliminate non-consciousness. So it is Prakriti Ashraya. It is starting from Prakriti, your mind. Mind is Prakriti, non-consciousness. Starting from there. And by eliminating your mind, you stop your mind. Yogo chittabritti nirodha. So you are completely restricting, or you are completely eliminating your mind. That's all. That is called yoga. How can you eliminate? Just stop your all vrittis. Mind is nothing but vritti. I do not go into detail what is vritti, all these things. I hope those who are attending my lectures, they know what is vritti, what is that. So, only stopping the vritti. That is the approach of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. The first type takes the form of attempt to free self from holding of Prakriti by understanding the conquering Prakriti. So if we can understand Prakriti, if we can understand non-consciousness, we can easily eliminate it. So eliminating this non-consciousness is Patanjali Yoga Sutra. It is Prakriti Ashraya. Then the second approach is I am Jivatman. So the first approach is yoga approach. So if I say consciousness and non-consciousness. Second approach, I am human being, I am jiva, I am human being, and the consciousness is only, see, we are changing the name, same fundamental truth, consciousness and non-consciousness. We are changing the name in different approaches, and different school has that kind of approaches. Spiritual practice is changing by changing the name of these two things and approaches of two things. So when I say Purusha and Prakriti, and we are trying to eliminate Prakriti, that is Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Second is Jiva and personal deity. Our consciousness we call the personal deity, Ishta, the chosen deity, Ishta. So personal deity. Personal deity means with form. Personal deity with form, with qualities. This is called personal deity. So we are Jiva and we have the personal deity. So this approach is a kind of Lila approach, God and me. Personal deity means God. God and I am the devotee. So this is the Bhakta approach. This is a devotee kind of devotional approach. You are God, I am. So this is the Lila approach. Everything is the creation of God. So you are God, I am the Jiva, only the human being, simple human being. So this is the approach. The third approach is between Jivatman, I am the Jivatman, and you are the non-personal, impersonal reality, supreme spirit. So, sorry. So this is a kind of, I am the Jivatman, I am without form, the Jivatman, and you are the supreme reality. Impersonal means without form. You are the supreme reality. So this third approach is generally, we find the manifestation of the dynamism of impersonal spirituality. This is called divine yajna. So there are three approaches. One is Purusha and Prakriti. This is the yoga approaches. So I am consciousness, the whole universe is non-consciousness. This is the yoga approach. Then I am Jiva and you are personal God. So this is the Lila approach. So you are God and I am the human being Jiva. So this is the devotional approach, is Lila approach, divine play. So what is creation? So suffering and non-suffering, happiness and sorrow is nothing but the different aspect of Lila, divine play. That is the thing. So everything is the divine play. God is playing. A beautiful Bengali song is there. The God is playing with this universe. So it is a kind of playing, God's play. So this is the Lila approach. And the last one is Yajna approach, the Jivatman and Paramatman. So they see the same thing, consciousness, non-consciousness. They are giving different name. One is Jivatman, Paramatman. One is Jiva and personal God. And then it comes Lila. And then Purusha and Prakriti becomes yoga. So these are the main three approaches. Lila means the divine play. Everything in this universe is divine play. Everything has been created by God. We are also participating in that divine play. So this is called Lila. And when Purusha and Prakriti is there, consciousness, non-consciousness, that is called yoga. So this is the framework. Lila, yoga, the fundamental basic thing of Lila, yoga and Yajna. Yajna is, I am Jivatman, you are Paramatman. That is the yoga ideal. Now, let us explain what is a little bit is yoga and then Lila. So, the life is actually self-effort. You see, you can easily understand that when I am talking about I am Jiva and my personal God is there. So immediately it comes, if personal God means personal God has a form, personal God has different qualities, guna. So blessing is one of the attributes, one of the gunas, one of the qualities. So when I say personal God, immediately the blessing aspect is coming. So you can understand, this is the approach of a devotee, the blessings. But if you go through the consciousness and non-consciousness, there is no grace. So it's a self-effort, only self-effort. So in few cases, in most of the cases, you must have the self-effort. But only in devotional case, you have the extra advantage of divine grace. So, only self-effort is not the way. The devotees, they think and they believe, strongly believe, that there is kripa, there is prasada or anugraha, there is some divine grace and blessings are there. The ultimate reality is regarded in Vedanta not only as the impersonal absolute, but also the personal God, the controller, antaryamin, the inner controller, antaryamin. So, through prayer, surrender, one can open their mind and they can be united with the personal God. And grace is important aspect of there. There are two types of yoga. One is individual yoga and another is divine yoga. This divine yoga is nothing but Lila. Let me explain it. What is divine yoga? So the point is this. We open ourselves to receive the grace. When this aspirant succeeds in doing this, divine power flows into their soul and transform their consciousness more quickly and thoroughly than self-effort ever can. The devotees, they believe that grace, the extra aid, extra means of becoming advanced in spiritual life is the special type of aid. So it is easier than the self-effort. And this, then self-effort, individual yoga becomes the part of divine yoga. So when we are participating of this grace aspect, this becomes divine yoga. Yoga, whether human or divine, means one thing, depending on spirit alone and not matter, whether it is divine or individual. Individual means self-effort. The Patanjali yoga, based on Patanjali yoga. Even Patanjali is called Sheshwar Sankhya. In Patanjali, Ishvara Pranidhana, that verse is there. So Ishvara Pranidhana means surrender at the feet of God. So Patanjali Yoga Sutra accepts God's grace. So this is divine yoga. Whether human or divine means one, depending not on matter. only the spirit. This is the first step of spiritual thought. If you have to change your outlook, So the changing outlook is that not depending on the matter, depend on the spirit, which is eternal. Try to depend on the eternal thing. Otherwise, you have to lose things. A person who is about to sink, if he holds some floating straw, can he save his life? It's not possible. Because straw is also floating. Straw is also not permanent. So we have to hold something permanent. And what is that permanent? That nature of permanent is satya, truth, which is truth, which is a real. That is only permanent. Otherwise, everything has a beginning and end. Everything is unreal. Everything is temporary. If we try to hold temporary things, can it stay forever? It never. Even a beautiful building, earthquake-proof building, do you think that it will stay forever? 30 years, 60 years? Whatever. The main thing is try to move your vision from matter to spirit. This is the first step of spirituality. This is most important. If you think God, what is God? Do you think God is a matter? If you think your Atman, consciousness, do you think consciousness is a matter? So the first thing is that move your watching eye from matter to consciousness. This is the first thing. Whether human yoga or divine yoga, depending on the spirit alone and not the matter. It means finding a solution to the problem of life in the spirit within and not on the material world outside. In temporary case, yes, if somebody is sick, we have to take him or her in the hospital. If somebody is hungry, definitely we have to go to some restaurant and take some food. These are temporary. But real problem of life, spiritual, you have to search it on, not outside. Even those problems also, the yogis, they conquer hunger, thirst. They fully depend on the spirit. Yoga, whether human or divine, has the same end in view: to transcend the ego and the sorrows of life. Hence, Bhagavad Gita defines yoga as the separation of the soul from the combination of sorrow. Our soul is the combination of sorrow and happiness. So Bhagavad Gita clearly, chapter 6, verse number 23, Tang vidvat dukkha sangyoga biyogam yoga sangitam. One of the definitions of yoga. Bhagavad Gita says, separating yourself from the suffering. That is called yoga. In Bhagavad Gita, Tang Vidyat, that knowledge, Dukkha Sangyoga, which is Dukkha Sangyoga, combined with suffering, Viyogam, which is that if you can eliminate that, Yoga Sangitam, that is called yoga. But the question is this all that spiritual solution means? Does God give only spiritual strength and knowledge to remain unaffected? It is not. God not only gives you the strength and grace to solve your problem, but God gives something more. What is that? In Patanjali Yoga Sutra it is said that karma phala, we know the karma phala, what we do, that we get. And this karma phala is so strong according to Patanjali Yoga Sutra, in our next birth, jati, ayush, bhoga, it will control. It will control three things, what we are doing in this life. In next life, it will control three things. Jati, what form you will take, whether you will be becoming human being or a tree. Jati. Ayush, how long you will live in your next life. That will be controlled by your work, this life. And bhoga, whether you will be happy or you will suffer, that also controlled by work you are doing in this life. So it is very, very strong conclusion that Patanjali Yoga Sutra taught us. But God and all philosophical schools, they say that it is very difficult to remove the fruits of work, karma phala. The Vaisheshika, Mimamsaka, they said, no, it is not possible. You have to experience that, you have to suffer. You have to enjoy or suffer, you have to experience your karma phala. No way. Advaita Vedanta says, yes, there is a way. If you can only realize the self, then you will be liberated. So karma phala bag will be there. It is just like a bank balance, The person is passed away, but bank balance is there. Karma phala is a bank balance. It is there. But you are liberated. So how this karma phala will act? Nowhere. So in this way you can escape the karma phala. And here, this is God's grace. That is why Swami Vivekananda used to say, Kapala mochana. Kapala means the forehead. What is the sign of it? It is a symbolic saying of forehead. Forehead means everything is written on the forehead. Your future is written on the forehead. It is said. Just saying. This Kapala mochana. God can change this writing from your forehead. Only God can do that. So karma phala can be escaped by the grace of God. Either the self-realization or by the grace of God. So God not only is giving you the strength to face the problem and the solution of the problem of your life, but also God can remove the karma phala, the fruits of your work. So, this is actually divine yoga. It is a common belief that the effect of the past karma cannot be counteracted by ordinary means. But devotees of God believe that Lord can change man's karma by his infallible will. The whole creation is an act of divine yoga. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Gita chapter 9 verse number 5 and chapter 11 verse number 8, it is said, Yoga Yogam Oishwarjam. Oishwarjam means the wealth. So the yoga is the wealth. And that wealth who is having? God. God can remove all this. God can do everything by yoga Oishwarja, by the wealth of yoga. And this is called the divine play. All this act is nothing but a divine play. Those people who can believe this, they are participating in the Lila. Lila means divine play. These are nothing but divine play. If you are not participating in the divine play, yes, then you must have the self-effort to reduce or eliminate the vrittis from your mind. And that is yoga. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Self-effort. You must have the self-effort. So this is the way. This is the instruction. So this is the Lila approach. And this is the beauty of Indian philosophy. There is not only one mold. You have to accept something. You have to follow this rule. You have to follow this practice, spiritual practice, and then only you can realize. No. There are different approaches. And you can apply this from time to time. You can switch over in any approaches according to the situation and your mental setup. But the goal is to realize that spirit. That is the goal. Whatever approaches you can adopt, no problem. And definitely, that experience is transcendental. Because that is subjective knowledge. However, the true devotees does not ask for worldly benefits. So the point is that what we shall ask from God, definitely there are two approaches. It begins with prayer. Prayer means asking anything. We are asking something from God. And definitely, it is included our secular prayer. To whom shall I ask? If I am in a problem, I have to ask from God. Definitely. But when the asking is intense and we get some blessings, then we surrender. What happens? If you get some favor from somebody, what is the next step? We surrender. Yes, whatever you say, I can do. So we simply surrender. It starts with prayer, but it leads to surrender. And when surrender, we want to give everything. Surrender means we give everything. And that is worship. In worship, everything is giving. Offering your ego at the feet of Lord. That is the highest kind of offering. And when you are becoming completely devoid of ego, then real meditation start. Union. Till then, till the worship stage, you and God, your Jivatman and Paramatman is different. Lila will continue, or divine play will continue up to that stage. But when it is united, when you feel the union or oneness with God, so intimate, oneness with God, and that is meditation. When you have surrendered and started loving, you become intimate. Then the union starts. That is meditation. But the point here is very strong. In Bhagavatam it is said that when you see God, you cannot ask anything from Him. There was a beautiful story in Bhagavatam when Akrura, the pious charioteer of Lord Krishna, went to Vrindavan to take Krishna, and then from there he took Sri Krishna to Mathura. He cherished many desires in his heart because he was poor, charioteer. He had many desires. But as soon as he saw Krishna, all his wishes got fulfilled. Referring to this, it is Bhagavatam, referring this point, Shuka. Do you know who is Shuka? The son of Vyasadeva. So the story is, Bhagavatam story says Purana, story is beautiful. So everybody, Narada told Vyasadeva, you have written Upanishads, Gita, everything you did. And you wrote Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Ramayana. But where is the life of Lord Krishna? There is no any good life of Sri Krishna. Can you write a life of Sri Krishna? Only you can write it. Then Vyasadeva replied, yes, I shall try. But is there anybody, any eligible person who can read it? I cannot find any eligible person who can read the life of Sri Krishna. Why? Because the ordinary human being, they cannot understand the divine play of Sri Krishna. They will look at it in a human eyes, desireful eyes. They think it in a desireful mind. To read Sri Krishna's life, completely desireless mind is required. They cannot understand this. Then Narada said, why are you telling this? Your own son is the most eligible person, Shuka. Then Vyasadeva agreed. And you know that story. Shukdev first read Bhagavatam to Parikshita, Lord Parikshita. That is the beginning of Bhagavata, you know that story. Lord Parikshita was bitten by a cobra. And only 7 days, it is said, only 7 days, he is going to leave. So what a person should do at that point of time? He was a king. Then everybody said that, okay, these 7 days you take the name of God. Okay? So he was taken in ancient time, you know, the people were taking at the side of a sacred river. So Parikshit was taken at the bank of a sacred river. But who will tell him about God, the glory of God? Nobody was there. Then suddenly came the news, Shukadeva is coming. Shukadeva was returning from some congregation of monk. Then Shukadeva was grabbed and requested, and Shukadeva narrated Bhagavatam. That is the beginning of the Bhagavatam. And you know, Shukadeva was completely out of desire from his birth. However, so Shukadeva explained this particular point in this way. What remains unattainable when the Lord, who is the abode of Lakshmi, is pleased? Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth, you know, and she is in the abode of Lord Krishna. She is serving Lord Krishna. So if you can attain Krishna, what more will be there to your attain? Nothing. So that is the point. So that is what he said. O king, means Parikshit, O king, those who are exclusively devoted to him, God, seeking nothing other than Lord, they are truly fulfilled. So that is the Lila attitude. All these are Lila attitude. And when divine Lila is not there, divine yoga is not there, then simple yoga, your effort, eliminating the consciousness from non-consciousness by reducing your vritti, by stop your vritti completely. These are the different attitude, interaction with this world. And by this, you can solve your day-to-day problem, solve your different problems of life. Any question? Yes.
So, in the yoga, you said there was the individual and the divine. Great. And
This divine yoga is nothing but Lila.
It's nothing but Lila. And that has grace in it.
Yes.
But in the yoga system, there's no Ishta. Is that right?
No.
That's not right.
Yes, no Ishta.
No Ishta.
Ishta means, see, very simple, just try to think. Not remember, logically try to think. Ishta means what? Personal God. So where personal God is related? In devotion. Patanjali Yoga Sutra is devotion, definitely Ishvara Pranidhana is there. But their main objective is to eliminate the vritti. Any question? Yes, please.
This morning I heard an instruction leading to meditation. And the teacher said, there's an ocean of bliss inside of you. There's a mine of bliss inside of you. And I did my meditation, but I didn't feel like I really experienced that bliss. I know when we talk about the koshas, there's one kosha that's called the Ananda kosha. So, in order to experience that bliss, do we need to, well, I guess the question is why don't we experience that bliss? If there's an ocean of bliss inside each one of us, why aren't we?
It is very simple. You are already so. We have a lot of impurities, the layers after layers of ignorance. Okay, our minds are dragged in different ways only because of that. If you can stop everything, you are that. You need not search anything from inside. You are that. You are not experiencing because many things are with you. So eliminate those things. So meditation is nothing but we are actually getting something. We are eliminating everything. If you can eliminate everything, actually, then it is fine. So, self-realization is nothing to gain something. Because you are that, you are already that. I do not have to search anything from anywhere else. I am that. But I cannot understand that. It is because lot of layers of ignorance is there. My mind is not one-pointed to realize that. It is distracted. When we can eliminate everything and think this one word is sufficient. Advaita Vedanta says that this knowledge, that you are that, this knowledge is not acting because of two things, Samshaya and Viparjaya. This knowledge, what your Guru said, and what we all are saying always, that you are that. This is also knowledge. One should immediately realize, yes, I am that. But we are not. Why? Because the knowledge we are gaining from this instruction is polluted by two things, Samshaya and Viparjaya. Samshaya means doubt. And Viparjaya means the opposite thoughts also are coming, different arguments are coming in our mind. So because of these two things, we are not realizing. Otherwise, simple one word is sufficient. You are that. That. Okay. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkham Apnuvat Sarvastarotu Durghani Sarvo Bhadrani Pashyatu Sarva Sadbuddhimapnotu Sarva Sarvatranandatu Durjana Sajjano Bhuyat Sajjana Shantimapnuat Shantamucchete Bandhebhyo Muktoschanyan Vimochayet. May all be happy. May all enjoy good health. May all see happy events. May all be freed from miseries. May all be freed from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bondages. May the freed make others free. May the Supreme Spirit, the presiding deity of all sacred activities, be satisfied, for he being pleased, the whole universe feels satisfied. Om, peace, peace. Peace be unto you all. Few announcements. Next Sunday, we do not have any Sunday morning lecture. And next Saturday, we will have Kali Puja at our San Jose house at 10 p.m. So I request all of you to attend and participate in that Kali Puja. So the following Sunday, we will have the Sunday talk. As usual, and another announcement, on Thanksgiving, we will have a retreat, Thanksgiving retreat at our San Jose house, and that will be on Bhagavad Gita, the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is Bhakti Yoga. So, those who are interested, you have to register your name online, our website, or our weekly bulletin. Everywhere you can get that. As usual, tea and coffee will be served in Saradananda Hall, which will be followed by Prasad Luncheon. I request you to participate. Thank you.